Breaking news coming up. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about this. 2 days ago, the Reserve Bank of Australia, or RBA, have decided to cut their cash rate by about 25 basis points to 0.50%. What's up, you guys? It's Aussie from Down Under, and today I just want to tell you my opinion about all of these cuts in cash and whatnot, and try to explain as much as possible to those who doesn't know about it. So let's give you guys a quick explanation of what a cash rate is and why you should actually care about it. A cash rate is the interest rate that a central bank such as the RBA will charge commercial banks for loans. The cash rate is also known as the bank rate or the base interest rate. So commercial banks like CommBank, ANZ, Westpac, and NAB, the big four, while they're free to set their own interest rates, they are basing it off of the interest rate set by the central bank, which is the RBA. So if the central bank increases the cash rate, commercial banks will also increase the cash rate, making it a little bit difficult to borrow. But if the central bank decreases the cash rate, commercial banks will also likely to decrease the interest rate, and spending is likely to increase. Now let's talk about why this is actually happening now. According to the Reserve Bank of Australia's statement 2 days ago, they said that the coronavirus has clouded the near-term outlook for the global economy and means that global growth in the first half of 2020 will be lower than earlier expected. As with any global catastrophe, that is expected. They also added that prior to the outbreak, there were signs that the slowdown in the global economy that started in 2018 was coming to an end. In addition, they also said that the long-term government bond yields have fallen to record lows in many countries, including Australia, and that the Australian dollar has also depreciated further recently and is at its lowest level for many years. This is especially troubling for people whose businesses are in travel and those who work here to send money back home. They are predicting that the GDP growth for the first quarter of 2020 will be noticeably lower than expected. And as the situation evolves with the coronavirus and everything, it is really difficult to predict what will happen next. They did mention that the outlook is good, as supported by the low level of interest rates, high levels of spending on infrastructure, the lower exchange rate, a positive outlook for the resource sector, and expected recoveries in residential construction and household consumption. The global outbreak of coronavirus is still going to further delay the progress in Australia towards the inflation target, but the board did mention that they are prepared to ease monetary policy further to support the Australian economy. Does this mean we're heading for 0% interest rate or even a negative one like in Japan and some Scandinavian countries? We'll have to wait and find out. In my opinion, these rate cuts won't really be able to stop the economic disruptions brought about by the coronavirus. There are a few main reasons why I think so. One is because that people will likely reduce their spending because they're trying to increase their savings as they're preparing for a more dire situation. The idea behind the rate cut is to put cash more easily into the hands of borrowers so they are more likely to spend it. But if they don't go out and spend it, the economic wheel stops. And another reason when supply is not enough. So let's say that my first example didn't happen, that people kept spending money, kept going out and buying and doing everything with their normal lives, but the supply stops. Imagine a scenario where businesses couldn't get hold of the goods that they want to try to sell to the customers. You could already read and hear about retailers running out of made-in-China goods with lengthy delays for made-to-order products that are supposed to go to Australia. So even if rate cuts do get a lot lower, this still wouldn't help keep businesses stay open, as they will run out of goods eventually to sell. So what are we supposed to do? I for one will go about my normal life, spending my normal ways, saving my normal money, and trying my best to keep my resistance up so I don't get hit with the coronavirus. From a healthcare professional's perspective, guess what healthcare professional I am? I would always just wash my hands, keep myself clean, keep my resistance up, and try to avoid big crowds, possibly, if you could. If someone coughs, tell them to close their mouth because that is just disgusting. Eat healthy, regular exercise, and before you know it, this coronavirus is gonna be over. If any breaking news happens financial wise in Australia, I'll try to keep you guys as updated as I could. But for now, leave me a like, press the subscribe button, and tap the bell notification icon to see a video every Thursday. This is Aussie from Down Under, and I'll see you in the next video. Smells like butts in there. Yeah. It's the mask.